The reality is I'm not this person with this driving get-it-done attitude. Reason is an action of the mind. Knowledge is a possession of the mind. But faith is an attitude of the person. It means you are prepared to stake yourself on something being so. The attitude that nature is chaotic and that the artist puts order into it is a very absurd point of view, I think. All that we can hope for is to put some order into ourselves. Before I started a company, I was an employee with a bad attitude. I was always felt like bosses are stupid, and people weren't well treated. Refuse to be a lazy Christian, and resist a passive, apathetic attitude. A discipline I have observed is an attitude of love and reverence to people. Control what you can control. I can control my emotions, my attitude, my effort every day. The American attitude towards efficiency and execution should always underlie architecture. I had a real bad attitude after my dad passed of liver cancer. I was 9, and we were really close. I have so many indie bands on my iPod. What I don't really understand is the attitude that if a band is unknown, they're good, and if they get fans, then you move on to the next band. Bambi can't act. Bambi had major attitude. I think it was my mom's attitude about art and being part of the narcissistic digital generation or whatever that made me think anyone would care what I had to say about anything. Out here in California, in the Pacific Ocean, the sharks have a bad attitude. I demand a lot from myself and reflect this attitude upon others. I consider it to be an important quality for a leader. I also think it is impossible to achieve success without persistence. Choosing an attitude of faith will release peace out of your spirit and into your soul. Jazz in itself is not struggling. That is, the music itself is not struggling. It's the attitude that's in trouble. My place insists that we should not forget or toss away our history. If you're a goal scorer, you have to have a certain attitude. I'm very serious. My missus thinks I'm a bit weird. I'm cold. I don't have many emotions. It's very rare I cry. I was impressed by Hendrix. His attitude was brilliant. Even the way he walked was amazing. Each experience through which we pass operates ultimately for our good. This is a correct attitude to adopt, and we must be able to see it in that light. My dad instilled in me a great sense of humor. I wasn't bullied at school because my outward attitude was confident, and that helps. I love everybody. One of the great things about me is that I have a very positive attitude. An American orchestra doesn't want to play more than it has to. I respectfully disagree with that attitude. When I was in my 20s, it did occur to me that there was something perverted about an attitude that thought that killing somebody was a minor offense compared to kissing somebody. With His love, you can wake up every day with an attitude of faith and expectancy. With just about every player in Australia, His whole goal and ambition is to play for Australia. That's why they're playing first-class cricket. It's just a different attitude. Bob Altman had this relaxed but serious attitude. Everybody loved him. I wanted him to adopt me. We have to improve our ability to deliver tangible results, namely sales, not simply awareness or change of attitude among opinion formers. Ben Schwartzwalder was a decent guy, but he was from another era. He was like a Marine, with a real army attitude. He thought there was only one way to play football, and that was the rough way. G.I. Joe has a heart and an attitude that feels right and familiar to me, so they could have ray guns, and they'd still feel more like real troops than many other franchises. Nonviolence is a permanent attitude we bring to the breakfast table and bring to bed at night. Italian style is a natural attitude. It is about a life of good taste. It doesn't have to be expensive. Simple but with good taste. Luxury is possible to buy. Good taste is not. The attitude is we live and let live. This is actually an amazing change in values in a rather short time, and it's an example of freedom from religion. I am a Piscean, and they have a lovingly detached attitude towards life. You don't have to have an attitude if you're famous. Unfortunately, the attitude of many towards the press, humanitarians included and especially government workers, is often one of suspicion, if not outright fear.